of the things you were saying there, and it's one of the things that I try to work when I have clients, is to talk about the powers that you have inside. And you can only deal, which hence is where my show name came from, but you can only deal with obstacles when you really go inside. Because if you tend to allow you to look at the outside world, then you tend to blame and play victimhood and things like that. And we really need to realize that if we're going to change ourselves or change our situation, it comes from inside. It's not coming outside.
I totally agree. It is it's you, what you have. What is it that, see, Elijah asked the widow woman, what is it that you have?
Mm-hmm.
And she was looking at the natural, you're seeing internally, but she'd been giving it away. Elijah, as a business coach, a prophet or whatever, he showed her how to take what she had naturally and turn it into, because that's what it is. I mean, stop and think about it. In 7 verses, he gave her the foundation for a business.
Right. And, you know, if we want something different, we can do that by figuring it out. What is it we're good at? What gifts do we have?
That is
and come up with an idea, and then we can start to put it together. And when we do that, then everything starts to come that we need. And
I totally agree with you. There are even modern day. Yes, I was sharing a story about 860 BC. But do you realize in today's time, there's some really good, you can Google these people. It's called the MAC. It's the lady that had an apple cake.
Mm-hmm.
Her apple cake recipe, she had a similar story. They were getting ready to close her, foreclose on her house. And she took a cake and made this bundt cake. And now she's a baker.
Mm-hmm.
She took a recipe that her grandmother, I think it was, that she shared with her. And they even now made a movie out of it. And then I love watching Shark Tank. There's I love it. You'll see where people take, and that's one of the things the sharks ask people, where did this idea come from? How did you take it and convert it? And even though it may be tangible, what you're saying is inside and bringing it out.
Mm-hmm.
What's inside is the brain. What is it, your passion? And turn it into a business. I have a friend that does quilting. I love following her because the quilts that she makes, and she was started out as a photographer, and she was a photographer that traveled the world, but now she's doing quilts and traveling the world even, I think, more. And then on Shark Tank, there was this one young man that's called Mo's Bows. Did you ever see the one where Mo's Bows? He's a 9-year-old. I think he started out as a 9-year-old doing bow ties, and he wanted to be dressed well, and he did them, and he sold them, and now his bow ties are in Macy's and stuff like that. And he was on Shark Tank. So what you're saying, taking what's inside and bringing it out.
You know, and here's the downside of that. I have a friend who had an idea for an invention. Of course, all inventions first start inside your head, and then you bring them out. So he invented this thing, but he did nothing with it. And here, you know, a few years later, somebody else got that idea. And so sometimes we have to remember, when we get an idea, is to act on it.
I agree.
If it's something that really excites us and we can see ourselves doing it, act on it. Don't wait until everything is perfect, because that probably is never going to happen. So just act on it where you are with what you have. Just start moving.
That is so true. And I'm one of those people that I think everything has to be perfect first. Yeah. So I'm getting over that. I have mentors too that say, okay, it doesn't always have to be perfect. And it's like, okay, I'm working on that.
Well, and here's the problem. So when we want it to be perfect, we sometimes, you know, have to have our plan, and we think that our plan is the only one. We don't know everything. The universe knows. And so sometimes we'll get an idea, or somebody will bump into us, and they could be the exact person or thing we're waiting for, but we miss it because it's not in our plan, you know?
Right.
So
right.
we really have to be careful of that perfection. And I understand that because a lot of entrepreneurs are very perfectionists.
Yes.
And it's, you know, a good thing and a bad thing at the same time.
That's true. And a lot of us entrepreneurs have ADHD.
Yes. Quite true.
So we have all of those traits. In fact, as a seasoned professional bookkeeper, I still do. I have some clients that I work with, and we do sharing. I go do Zoom sharing, and I always like to look how many tabs they have open on their computer. And if you have 20 or more open, you are a serious entrepreneur. If you only have one or two, you're just playing around. But if you have 20 or more, you're serious. And so when I was setting up here today, one of my the young man here goes, "You've got a lot of tabs open." I said, "You want to count, figure it out?" And he said, "No, it's just so." So yes, but no, perfection when you're we just can't. And also the thing is, change always comes along. Stop and think about the reason why Microsoft is so great. They always have a new edition the next year. QuickBooks version 2, version 3, and they don't give it out for free. You have to pay for the next year's edition.
Right.
So that's one thing you have to look at as well. So, I'm